we've talked a lot about what these women are facing, the problems, etc. Now the question comes that what's the role and responsibility of the state and the private sector in providing an enabling environment to these entrepreneurs, right? And is there sort of a focus on public policy as well? For instance, we often hear that big businesses get tax cuts, right? But is there any sort of inclusivity available for women entrepreneurs, ground zero entrepreneurs in policy as well?
So I think in the last decade or so, Pakistan as a nation, we've done a lot and we're doing a lot, and we have the roadmap to do a lot for these women entrepreneurs. When I say a lot, obviously it's relative. I'm comparing it to what it was 20 years ago, and not, obviously there's a lot of potential to do a lot. But now you see that the government, the provincial governments, they do take out these schemes, they do take out these programs that are focused on promoting more women entrepreneurs, and also provide money and seed grants to these entrepreneurs to help them scale their businesses. And I think that's been a game changer. In KP, in Balochistan, in Punjab, in the federal capital, you see all of that. But we still have a long way to go, because a lot of these initiatives, I'll give you an example that I worked on, they've all been funded by foreign donors, right? I would love to work for a locally funded initiative, and actually I did once for KP government, but उस तरह कितने initiatives हैं नहीं, अभी design phase में हैं, roll out हो रहे हैं, we hear about them, but जितनी हमारी population है और जितनी हमारी demand है ऐसे programs की, supply side still needs to strengthen up, their policies and come up with more programs to make it more inclusive. We have SMEDA, we have TEFTA, we have all of these technical training institutes that provide technical skills, but we don't really have a entrepreneurship center at the state level that is run by entrepreneurs, right? We have the academic part of it, but we don't have one that is experiential. This is where I say that, when we talk about these trainings for ground zero entrepreneurs, academia can't do it. Academia needs to be, in the sense, academia needs to involve entrepreneurs to deliver it, right? It cannot happen. Academia cannot just do it on its own. You need to have seasoned entrepreneurs who've grown their businesses from ground zero and upwards, and incorporate their experience into this theory, right? उसके बगैर नहीं होगा. अगर आप उनको खाली theory सिखाएंगे, तो there's only so much, that they can even do. So state level पे ऐसा experiential platform जो training दे और बहुत hands on हो, वो अभी तक missing है. But वैसे, if you ask me generally, relatively, yes, on the public policy side, the government is doing a lot to encourage startups to come up. The government is providing them with in terms of their taxation, it's given them relaxation for the first 3 years. In terms of registering a business, SECP has, rolled out very easy procedures to make sure the process is not cumbersome. To get foreign investment, you have various governments approaching the government of Pakistan, and you have these initiatives and roundtables and discussions going on through the investment department of the country. But again, that all is being done. But when I talk about ground zero entrepreneurs, there's still a lot that needs to be done.
So building up on that, what would the role of the private sector be in this equation?
But public-private partnership or programs that are done jointly by the government and the private sector are the ones that really play an instrumental role in the economy also. We've seen in Pakistan, the government alone has not been able to do much or does not have the resources. It's actually about resources. It's not about the skill. You have very qualified people maybe running the government, but do they have the skill set to train these kind of people or actually understand or have the acumen? What is it that they need for these businesses? I'll give you an example. So I've trained under various programs around at least 1,000 micro entrepreneurs from across Pakistan, right? 60% of them have gotten funding from donors overseas, not from Pakistan. except the project that we did in KP. So that speaks volumes about our, do we have the strength here to actually finance these programs? But again, I think for people who are interested, KP government is still doing a lot. You keep hearing about Kamyab Jawan, this program. So they're doing a lot in terms of setting money aside. Because देखिए एक होता है training bit, एक होता है training करके when these women graduate, you need to give them some seed grant that they can, that kind of boost their business also. So you need to budget that in also.